All right, let's talk about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco and the Browns. All of a sudden, this Browns team is looking pretty good. And I don't know what their ceiling is with Flacco, but I really think that this is the best quarterback play they've gotten all season, really. I think he's been solid for them. And let's talk about what he's doing well and why this offense is working with him out there. So for one thing, it's stuff like this. It's him just being a part of the offense, right? It kind of reminds me a bit of what we talked about with Brock Purdy of like when he first entered the league of, hey, you don't got to come in and be Superman. Just put the ball where it's supposed to go. This is a zone coverage play, and they're going to run a play action to hopefully get linebackers out of position. Watch as when Flacco takes the snap, he's going to look over the middle, and there's a window to make this throw. So, it's not the highest degree difficulty type play, but there still is some difficulty here. You want to time it well to try and make sure you get it in between the two Jaguars players that are out of position now. But one thing I do like about this is that while the receiver Flacco wants to throw it to is currently not even looking towards Flacco, if you look over and look at Flacco, the ball is already coming out of his hands. He knows how to time these things so well, even with receivers that he's never played with. As you see, it's an accurate throw. They're able to get a completion, and it's those little things that he's able to do. He's able to do the simple stuff, right? Which, let's just be honest, P.J. Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson haven't done a great job of this season when they've had to come in. And I would argue Watson didn't do a great job of when he was in there, of just run the offense the way it's supposed to be ran. That's what you want to see. I also should mention, there was some luck here. There was. A play like this, it's a 3rd down and 1 situation, so they're going to run a play action, and there's 2 ways you could take this. So let's just talk about the play itself. It's, again, looks like it's going to be a running play, right? You see, it doesn't look like there's even a wide receiver in on this play, so definitely the Jaguars are prepared for a run. However, Flacco is going to, run to play action. He fires down the field, and you see just nobody picked up the tight end who ran down the field, Njoku. I mean, just no one picked him up. Everyone thought it was a running play, which, okay, there's several ways to look at this. One way is bad defense by Jacksonville. And in fact, you have to include that as part of this. It was bad defense by Jacksonville. It was. As you see, Flacco was able to make the throw. They get the touchdown. But, again, is that bad defense by Jacksonville? Yes, but it was set up because they were so convinced it was going to be a running play. It was a good play call by Stefanski, but it's also a defense maybe not fearing Flacco, and the flip side of the coin for the Browns is they did trust Flacco enough to run this play and have it work out. So, I don't know. It's just an interesting concept, but obviously it helps when the Jaguars don't pick up Njoku. And going over here, it was not the only time that would happen, where this play, it's zone coverage, you're running a play action, and Njoku's going to run over the middle. Watch as when Flacco takes a snap, you see the Jaguars trying to communicate over the middle, but, one player is saying, hey, cover Njoku, to another guy. The other guy is just running towards Flacco, trying to create a pressure, so not on the same page, leaving Njoku wide open. So, again, several ways you could take it. Could just be bad defense, but it also could be considered good play calling to, attack an area of the field that the Jaguars are weak at. As you see, it is an accurate throw from Flacco to allow Njoku to continue running after the catch. He's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown, so good stuff by Cleveland. And again, you could sit here and say, well, Flacco's not really doing a lot on these plays, but that's okay, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a Browns fan, you don't really care why it's working. You just care that it's working. And in fact, if it's working just with Flacco being okay, that might even be a better thing. Because, listen, Flacco's obviously not a long-term answer. He is very much a quarterback for this season to hopefully, keep the season alive and get you into the playoffs. And who knows, maybe you can make some noise when you get there. So at the end of the day, if you want to say, well, it's credit to the play calling, credit to Njoku, or credit to Flacco, whoever you're giving the credit to, doesn't matter, because as long as your offense is looking good, you're happy. Going over here, I joked about on the podcast, I think Flacco just forgot the jersey colors here on this play. I don't know if that's quite what happened, but I do actually think that he just accidentally threw it to the defense. I think that he intentionally threw it to the wrong team, if that makes sense, where it's a 3rd down and 4, and to have this kind of pick play rub route situation towards the offense's left. And when it begins, it's going to be weird, right? You see how, I don't know what the Jacksonville player who I've circled, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing here, because there was contact made between a Browns player and a Jaguars player, and for some reason, that Jaguars player is just running towards the bottom of the screen. I have no idea why. I don't know if he's just reading Flacco's eyes and trying to get over there. I'm also not sure. I think what probably happened here is not that Flacco forgot which team he played for. Part of me was speculating that maybe he saw a guy break out like that, and since the corner was running it like a receiver, he threw it over there and it goes poorly. I think he probably just made his decision just a half second too quickly and was throwing with anticipation, and it's gone horribly wrong. But as you see, he throws it directly to a Jacksonville player, so not a great job there. He has thrown an interception in back-to-back weeks. He also had a fumble in this game, although I don't really put that one on him too much, so I'm not going to crush him for that. But, it's not perfect, right? And you're not expecting him to be perfect, but it's been good enough. And a play like this is an example of good enough, I would say. It's a 3rd down and 7 situation. It's going to be zone coverage. You see the route that Flacco is going to look towards here. So, okay, well, let's see how it works out. Flacco is going to take the snap, and you see it's, there's an opening here, for sure. There is a window, but it's not like the easiest window in the world. However, Flacco puts it on the money, was a bit of a tough catch. Maybe you could argue could have been a little bit lower down, but still a very good play in my opinion. So yeah, I think that's a lot of what Flacco is doing well. Like, listen, it's a weird situation. It is. I don't know exactly what we do with this. I don't know where we go with Flacco. I think for one thing, I felt like for a bit now, I don't think Flacco has been terrible. I didn't think he was terrible with the Jets. Like, I thought it was kind of weird that he, wasn't able to get onto a football team, really. And listen, I'm not saying he was good either, right? Like, I don't think he's been good for a while. Back when he was, the last time he was a scheduled starter was with the Broncos, actually, where even then I thought he was, like, serviceable, but just not very great. The year before, he got benched for Lamar Jackson. And, it's been over a decade since he won a Super Bowl. So, I don't know exactly what to make of the 38-year-old Joe Flacco with the Cleveland Browns. But again, if he can just come in and honestly, if he can just be replacement level, that's a big upgrade from what Cleveland has thrown out there. I think that, that's kind of would be really good for them and could potentially have them be a playoff team. I did my ESPN playoff machine thing, and I do have them making the playoffs. And I didn't have them before, a couple of weeks ago. But a big win here, for one thing, just pulling off this victory goes a long way. And then, they play Chicago. I do think they'll be favored in that game. They still play the Jets this season. I think they'll be favored in that game. And then, they play the Texans and the Bengals. Neither of those are guaranteed wins, but they both are at least possible wins. So I'm kind of thinking, 10-7, maybe even 11-6 for the Browns with Flacco. And again, if they get there, maybe I'm not expecting much, but hey, then you got January Joe, right? Then you got Flacco, who is always great in the playoffs. I'm not sure if he's still that guy, but either way, you at least know the moment won't get to him like it probably would if you had, DTR or, PJ Walker. So I guess my main point in all this is why you don't just say, well, the guys on the roster are our guys. The Jets considered Flacco, decided not to go with him. I think they would have really liked to have him this season. It's why, if you're still trying to be competitive and your quarterback situation is bad because of injuries, go out and get a guy. It can work out, and it did for the Browns here. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.